Until now, used from China like the LDV T60 and GWM Cannon have had one great big drawcard, and that's cheapness, especially compared to the Ford Ranger and Toyota Hilux equivalents. But now there's this, the GWM Cannon Alpha. Like before, this one's affordable, but this time it adds two more reasons to buy Chinese. One, extra size, and two, hybrid technology. That's right, introducing Australia's first proper petrol-electric hybrid. Forget about mild hybrids like the 48-volt Hilux. This one is coming in hot and spicy. Alpha to the front, ha, see ya, hold tight. Right, given this is the first of its kind, GWM has taken the liberty of pricing this quite expensively for a Chinese ute at $64,990. But that's drive away, and it has everything including the kitchen sink, as well as the plumbing, the taps, and your choice of plumber. Now that's spicy. Okay, maybe not all that, but you do score all the usual luxury items, plus a 360-degree monitor with a view of the road underneath, a panoramic sunroof, this massive touchscreen, powered, heated, vented seating for all outboard occupants, and with a massaging function up front, a head-up display, automatic parking assistance, front and rear wireless charging, rear climate controls, and a sliding back window. Lots of driver assist safety tech exists as well, including AEB, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and front as well as rear cross-traffic braking. Check out my Cannon Alpha Hybrid review at carsguide.com.au for the full safety roll call. And speaking of security, the GWM scores a 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty, as well as 7 years of roadside assistance and cap price servicing, with intervals set at every 12 months or 10,000 kilometres. A less posh version of this car might drop later on, probably when the BYD Shark PHEV is released towards the end of this year. We'll have to wait and see for that one. Anyway, given that this car is priced less than a mid-spec Ranger XLT or Hilux SR5 Auto, you've got to say that this is probably sending Ford and Toyota into hysterics. Especially if you like a little bit of extra girth driving to and from work in your dual cab ute. So let's talk about size. GWM reckons that you might consider buying the Cannon Alpha over an F-Series truck, but I reckon they're dreaming, because in reality it's only about this much longer, wider and taller than the Ranger. So let's compare it to a Ranger. This is slightly longer. It's got a stretched wheelbase of about that amount, and it's about that amount taller, probably because of these roof bars. But generally, you might consider buying this for its looks, because it's quite a handsome and well-proportioned truck. There are some details I really dig, such as these rear clamshell doors that provide some hidden storage if you want to store, I don't know, a knife or something? I don't know, it's just whatever. Anyway, moving around the back is actually the Cannon Alpha's piece de resistance if you buy the Ultra version. And that is this tailgate that should open in the same way as Ford's Falcon wagons used to in the 70s. You get a well, what should happen is that when you press this button, it drops, good, like a regular ute, or with this light action, if you press it just once, it ought to open like so. So we just want to try get a short press. Why don't you try it? maybe let's just leave it like that and I'll just open it, yeah? Okay, so how should we do this? From the top or?
No.
No, okay.
Just go from,
Yeah, or? Oh! I'm too old for this. Right, normally at this juncture, I talk about the standout items that you get in a luxury ute or SUV, but this time around, it's what's missing. It's probably quicker for me to talk about what's not here. And basically, two things. There's no rear window demister because it's got the sliding back window opening thingy. And also, there aren't physical controls to adjust the temperature. You need to go through the touchscreen. Other than that, everything is included. Now, the dashboard, which is lovely and quite spare in its design and its simplicity, it features a digital instrumentation, which you can kind of play around with from a configuration point of view, but it's clear and simple. The large 14.6-inch touchscreen, seriously, I can spend a week discovering new things in this thing. And it's perfectly positioned, so when you drive, it's within arm reach and all that sort of stuff. I like the ambience and the quality. The thing is really well put together. The surfaces feel premium and it just looks really good. I can't complain about the driving position. There's so much adjustment available, and combined with the massaging seats, heated and vented up front as well and out back. It's really well thought out. And of course, there's plenty of storage. There's bi-level storage here. You can fit bottles and whatnot in the doors. Of course, there's a very deep center storage bin here, and vision out is good. So really, it's lacking in nothing. It's clear that GWM's engineers have designed this car from the inside out. Anyway, over at the back seat, one of the reasons why you might consider buying a Cannon Alpha is the amount of space out back. In this particular Ultra, the seats recline slightly by 33 degrees, and that's a rarity. There's plenty of leg room. I can tuck my boots underneath, and you can adjust the seat in front electrically from the back, which is handy if you need to adjust that. And as far as amenities concerned, this thing lacks for nothing as well. There's climate control at the back of the center console, along with air vents. You get grab handles and overhead reading lights. There's lots of width, so 3 people can fit across quite comfortably. There's pretty good door storage. The ubiquitous cup holder situation is right here in the center armrest. And there's even a spot to charge your phone, a wireless phone charger, which is really good. And quite a bit of hidden storage as well. You can put something back here, or rather in the middle there, and there's a jack and that sort of thing behind here, as well as access to the child seat tether straps, and that applies for both seats. Entry and egress is pretty easy, and yeah, like clearly, again, GWM has thought about the interior packaging, but this time from the back seat. Then there's the cargo bed out back. Let's check that out. So here are the tub dimensions on your screen right now. Just keep in mind that compared to the interior, it's pretty basic back here. Like compared to the Ranger or the Ranger High Series, you don't get a sliding cover or a roof bar or zone lighting or a step on the side to help you reach in, although you do get that step right in front of you, or cleats and clamps to help secure your loads. All you're stuck with really is this molded plastic thing here and these hooks from Bunnings, as well as a Chevrolet logo. Anyway, at least there is a bit of width and length for you to play with, but you certainly wouldn't buy this for the rear accessories. And as far as they're concerned, at the time of publishing, we do not know what GWM plans to do in that regard. Keep in mind that you have to close this door first before you close this one, because you don't want to dent the bodywork. There's a spare steel full-sized wheel underneath here. And finally, this is a body-on-frame construction with wishbones up front and trusty leaf springs right here to help with towing and loads. Towing capacity is 3,500 kilograms braked and 750 kilograms unbraked. Payload is 735 kgs, which is 86 kilograms shy of the diesel version. Yep, that's right. There's also a cheaper diesel version of the Cannon Alpha Ute. In the hybrid version, there's a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo-petrol engine that produces 180 kilowatts of power and 380 newton meters of torque, and it's mated to GWM's own 9-speed automatic transmission. Being hybrid, there's also an electric motor and a battery, and with the help of those, power jumps up to 255 kilowatts, while torque rockets up to 648 newton meters. Drive is set through to either the rear or both axles via an in-house 9-speed torque converter automatic transmission. There are your usual 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive high and low ranges. GWM says the hybrid system is tuned for performance more so than outright fuel economy. So it might disappoint some to hear that the combined average figure is 9.8 litres per 100 kilometres. During our launch drive route, the trip computer showed 11.3. Several driving modes are offered as part of an all-terrain response system which includes off-road settings. While still on road, the Cannon Alpha offers 28.5, 19 and 23 degrees of approach, breakover and departure angles respectively. Ground clearance is 224 millimeters, while water wading depth capability is 800 millimeters. Okay, the moment of truth. We've been impressed with the packaging, the comfort, the pricing and the features, but just how is the Cannon Alpha Hybrid on the road? Well, I'm glad you asked, and I'm here to answer that question. And you know what? It's complicated. I'll start with the good stuff first though. Because it's got a petrol-powered drivetrain with electric assistance, it's really smooth off the line and quiet without that diesel clatter that so many dual cab utes have. You know, it's a revelation if you're not used to that, and it's quiet and really sophisticated. It really lives up to its styling, I think, and its presentation. It's a premium powertrain experience from a refinement perspective, and also power delivery. It's punchy, it gets up and goes, there's enough in reserve for really fast overtaking, and it's just really, it's really quite quick. Although not quite 648 newton meters quick, I've got to say, but it's certainly lively enough. Also, I think the steering makes this one of the best Chinese utes, if not the best Chinese ute I've ever driven. It's fairly light and easy, it's direct, and it offers a relatively good turning circle as well. I wish there was a little bit more feedback though. This is miles away from being an interactive and enjoyable handling vehicle in the same vein that, say, a Ford Ranger is. And related to steering are the very annoying driver assist safety systems. They just keep reminding the driver to do this or don't do that, and you know, you can just say, oh yeah, turn it off, but you shouldn't have to turn these systems off because they're there to help you from, or save you from getting into trouble. So what this car really needs, besides fewer interruptions from the driver assist systems, is Australian road tuning. It just needs to be more nuanced and less intrusive. But you know, that's not the biggest problem I have with the Cannon Alpha, because I don't know if you can tell, but I'm bobbling along here because the road is smooth, yet the ride is constantly busy. It's uncomfortable around town, over bumps and speed humps and that sort of thing. It borders on being downright hard. It's just not right. I'm sorry, but it's been, what, 12 or 13 years, maybe even longer, that the Ranger has defined the way utes should ride in Australia, and this is nothing like it. This isn't even as good as the mediocre ones. It just needs more compliant suspension to match the sophistication of the powertrain. It's really disappointing. It's almost a deal breaker for me. It just does not ride well enough. And again, more Australian tuning is required. Which basically sums up this car, or this ute rather. It's smooth, it's fast, it's easy to maneuver, but it just needs to cope with our conditions better. Off-road, with sufficient ground clearance and the right combination of gearing and diff locks over a challenging course, means that the Cannon Alpha Ultra Hybrid managed to get through fairly impressively, tackling boggy tracks with ease. On first acquaintance, there's plenty to like here. The Cannon Alpha has so much going for it. Good looks, lots of space, and of course, that low price, coupled with the fact that it's Australia's first ever hybrid, full hybrid ute. But it still needs quite a lot of work. The hybrid system is geared for performance, not economy, so you're not going to get great numbers. The driving assistance systems need a complete overhaul in order for them to, I think, work properly on Australian roads, and the ride is borderline unacceptable, except on the smoothest of roads. So, yep, what we're looking at here is yet another Chinese ute that really is based on price first. There's a lot of scope for improvement. The bones are right, the potential's there. We hope GWM gets down to it. Anyway, you can read my full review at carsguide.com.au, and as always, thanks for watching.